I cannot believe I've never done this before. Pathetic. Sometimes you need to innovate in order to maintain a more minimal space. Oh. Found the breast milk.
A palace of gold, gold, gold. A palace of gold, 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 gold.
Hey everyone, it's Natalie. Welcome to my channel and welcome to yet another episode of Messy to Minimal. This is the series that I've been doing on my channel since the new year, where I go into each room of my house, do an extreme declutter, purge out a bunch of items, reorganize it all, and in the end, my husband and I have been able to get rid of over 75% of our stuff. Minimalism means something different for everyone, and we are always growing and learning, and the effects that it has had on our life have been so positive, and it's made me want to dive a little bit deeper into other areas of my house, like my fridge and freezer. I already did an extreme declutter here in the kitchen. It was actually the first episode in this series. I'll leave that linked in the description box if you want to see it. But when I filmed that episode, I had so much work to do in here that I didn't even get to my fridge and freezer. But it is a space that is a super high traffic area in our home, and it absolutely needs an overhaul. We also have a fridge freezer out in our garage. That was the old one left in here from the previous owners. That's just kind of like an extra space to store things, as well as a deep chest freezer. So keep that in mind as you watch me declutter and clean and reorganize this fridge in here. I'm not going to get to what's out in the garage in this episode. However, over on my Instagram this week, I will be sharing some tap to declutter, tap to clean and reorganize little Instagram stories over there. But right now I've got to focus on what's going on inside, because this is the main one that we use. My husband and I have recently changed up the way we are purchasing groceries and prepping our meals, because I have started a gut healing metabolism reset diet after years of chronic illness. So this decluttering project has come at the perfect time. It is so bad in here, you guys. It's really embarrassing, but I hope you enjoy this video and get some good motivation from it. Give this video a thumbs up if you do get some motivation and if you enjoy it while you're watching. And if you're new, I'd love it so much if you would subscribe, turn that bell button on so you don't miss future videos from me. And if you haven't seen the other videos in this Messy to Minimal series, that playlist is linked in the description box if you want to get caught up. And for those of you who have watched the other videos in this series, leave this emoji in the comments so I can say hi. Thanks so much for being here with me throughout this whole journey. It has been quite a journey, but we're not done yet. This fridge needs some serious help. Let's take a little tour of what it looks like first so that you can get a good idea of what I'm working with and see a really satisfying before and after. Thumbs up if you enjoy satisfying before and afters. This is our inside fridge here in the kitchen. It's a very slim model of the LG line of fridges, because the corner here in the kitchen is very tight and narrow. And you may have noticed that I moved our espresso stand. It's sitting farther back in the kitchen right now just to get it out of my way, because I'm gonna be spending a lot of time here. It is what it is. We would have to take this wall down, which is load bearing, and we can't do that. So we're stuck with it the way it is, but the thing that everyone wants to see, or maybe not, is what is on the inside. I will say, with the change in our diet recently, and yes, Weston and I are both doing this metabolic reset gut health diet. He's doing it to support me and to be as healthy as he can be, and I'm doing it for my own health reasons, like I said. With that diet, everything is really stuffed to the brim in this fridge, more so than what's typical, and so I've got a lot of work to do in here. And as you can see, there's no real category anymore. Whenever we clean out the fridge, we do try to move stuff to its kind of category shelf as we go, but it's a little discombobulated, and it is, you know, from front to back, just deep with stuff. So got to take care of that. These side shelves are absolutely atrocious. I am married to a condiment and hot sauce junkie. Let me know in the comments if you have someone like that in your life, or if you are the person who is like that. There's no rhyme or reason to what is in these side compartments. We just kind of need to do an overhaul. There's a lot of expired stuff in here. I've got this up here, which is for like butter and like granulated yeast. I've got some walnuts up there, and now everything's falling out at me. And I feel like this fridge, like how it is now, especially with how awkward this corner of our kitchen is, but I feel like I'm like the before of an infomercial or like an as seen on TV ad where you just look like an absolute moronic dork trying to get stuff out. Stuff always falls down at me. I'm always like so frustrated getting into this, and I feel like with some order and some minimizing in here, it's gonna be a lot better. So there's that side. This is the freezer side, and it is just as stuffed. We eat a lot of fresh foods, so we're not using our freezer as often as some people might, but there is definitely stuff in here that we can eat. There's stuff in here that we can't eat on our plan that we'll just keep for our kids who aren't eating on that diet plan. And then there's stuff in here that just needs to go. I'm pretty sure on this top shelf toward the back, I still have frozen breast milk in there. That needs to go. My daughter hasn't nursed in over a year, and I probably pumped that a year before that. So that needs to go. Lots of stuff needs to go. This is the current situation. Okay, so my strategy going into this decluttering project is actually just to take everything out. I'm gonna work in the fridge, and then I'm gonna work in the freezer. Weston and I over the past couple of years have really tried to cut down on our food waste. It's been a huge goal of mine, and we have learned so much, and we've made great strides, but I think we can still be doing better. So even though I do have to toss probably a good amount of stuff, the long-term effects of reorganizing everything in here are going to cut down on food waste in the long run. I'm gonna take everything out, and you're gonna get some cleaning motivation as well as decluttering motivation in this video, because I've got to scrub stains and spills and just kind of clean up and make it nice and sparkling and fresh in here before putting everything back in and reorganizing and redoing the way we store the food in the fridge. So let's get to work. Get these condiment shelves out of there so that I can fit in, because again, this is such an awkward corner of our kitchen, and it's so slim and the door doesn't open all the way. So those shelves have been taken out. We're gonna go through the condiments first, since they're here, and then I'm gonna take stuff out of the other shelves of the fridge. And as you can hear, Weston is pouring cooking wine down the sink that has gone bad. Pathetic. Oh. We bought this for Cinco de Mayo, ate 1/20th of it, and now it's not good anymore. What a waste. My kids are playing in the living room behind this wall, so you might hear them a little bit. But as of now, I've cleaned off the shelves in the fridge, these side door shelves, and as I've gone, I've found stuff that just absolutely needs to be thrown away. Anything that's like rotten or needs to be tossed. But there are other things that are perfectly good. Stuff like pickles and capers and stuff that's preserved that I can still hold on to even though it doesn't fit into my plan. And then there's other stuff that doesn't fit into my plan but the kids will eat. And then there's things that my kids won't eat, that I can't eat right now, that can't be saved until I'm done with this plan, like heavy whipping cream. Love this so much, but it doesn't love me. but my mom actually uses this in a lot of her recipes and in her coffee. So I'm gonna offer this to her because it's basically full. It was purchased right before I changed my diet plan. So this is going to mom, and I can't get to my vegetable drawer and my meat drawer until I get everything back in. These drawers, they can't pull out all the way and be removed because this door is preventing that, because this can't open anymore. So I'm gonna do this scrub down, get stuff put back in, and then do the veggie and meat drawers. Shelf to the bottom, it gets progressively dirtier because things drip and fall down.
Drip, drip in the rain and shower.
It was pretty much clean on the top, just a few crumbs, but now on the bottom there's like gross spills and sticky crap, so. Sparkling clean in there and smelling so much fresher, and I'm gonna start putting stuff back on the shelves. I've been on Instagram this week asking you guys in my stories to send me your suggestions, your best tips for organizing and cleaning a fridge, as well as any little gadgets, storage solutions, organizational tips and stuff that you have. And based on a lot of your recommendations, having bins that you can pull out of your fridge, especially when you're in a tight space in your kitchen, is really helpful. And I'm not someone who just goes out and buys a bunch of bins, and especially if you're working toward a more minimal lifestyle, that kind of goes against the idea. But sometimes it's a necessity, and sometimes you need to innovate in order to maintain a more minimal space. As I was looking at other people's fridge organization videos, which I'll link some of my favorites below. My absolute favorite is At Home with Nikki. I've been watching her channel for years. She's a professional organizer and her videos are so inspirational. But it looks like having some bins that you can pull out of your fridge based on your guys' recommendations, and from what I've seen on Pinterest and on other YouTube videos, it's a really good idea. You're gonna see me putting some new stuff here in the fridge, but if you have stuff already around your house that you can use to organize, absolutely go for that. I just didn't have anything. So I'm gonna organize the shelves, get the stuff put back on, and then I'll go through those produce and meat. Kids are playing kinetic sand over there, and I wanted to show you what I'm working on right now. Produce drawer that I just cleaned out here in the fridge. This is not big enough for the amount of produce that we go through every week. Especially with this new way of eating, we just keep a lot of fresh produce on hand. But that's the thing about fresh produce, is that it goes bad pretty quickly. And I actually saw my friend Caitlin Nyer talking about these OXO, do you pronounce it that way, or is it OXO brand? These are little crisper bins, and they keep your produce way fresher, apparently, than if you kept them in bags. So I'll leave a little update as this video ages to update you guys on how well these work. But the reviews on Amazon were really, really good. So I've just been transferring some of our bagged produce into the little crispers. There's multiple sizes. I have the large, skinny, like long ones, as well as the small size. The mediums were out of stock on Amazon, but I might order a couple of those once they come in stock. We don't always get bagged produce, like especially in the summertime when the farmers markets are going, or my mom's beautiful garden is producing enough for her to share with us. We will just have loose produce, which it's nice to be able to have a little bin for it to go into. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm transferring some of this and putting it back in the fridge. Oh my goodness, it is looking so much better in here. I can't wait to give you guys a little tour toward the end of the video. So just a second on that. Now we are going to work on the freezer, and this is going to be like lightning round, go through everything, throw the old stuff away, and rearrange it really quick. Found the breast milk. I can actually take these out in the freezer because the door opens all the way. Alton Brown.
Yeah, no.
Goodies! Whenever I do a camera angle like in an appliance, I use... Hey everyone, it's Alton Brown. Welcome to Goodies.
It's really good in here.
Thank you. I think it turned out good. Okay, so the rest of my house is in shambles. The kids have kind of just torn it apart while mommy and daddy were working in the kitchen. And oh my gosh, this was so much work, but it looks so much better in here. I am excited to give you guys this little after tour. Okay, so I'm gonna go through everything in this fridge and freezer as quick as possible so that we're not spending too much time in my fridge today. But so many of you, when I asked the question over on Instagram for your advice, told me that turntables in a fridge can help out so much. So I got this one, and I will link all of these, any like organizational pieces and stuff that I have in here, bins or turntables or whatever, in the description box if you guys want to check them out for yourself, like milks and pickled things. So I have those beverages in the front, and then our sauerkraut, pickles, capers, olives, that sort of thing. And this seems to be working pretty good. Down to the next shelf, we have a little can dispenser. We drink LaCroix with dinner usually, and so we like to have those chilled and on hand. I have some kombucha here, and I actually like to store kombucha on its side because it helps keep the culture like mixed up when I tilt it up without having to shake it. There's a little tip for you if you are a kombucha drinker. And then with our new diet that we're doing, a lot of Ezekiel bread is in it just because it has like live sprouted grains in it, and those things need to be kept in the fridge. I have little tortillas, a sesame loaf in there. I know these bins are gonna be really helpful for me. It's nice to be able just to pull something out and grab what I need rather than having to fish through everything, especially, I mean, I don't know if my camera picks up how tight this space is, and I know I've said it a few times this video, but for me, I am not a large person, and to get into this fridge, I have to literally squeeze my arms together. So to be able to access stuff in this space without having to spend too long digging through stuff is definitely a good thing. Okay, let's look at this next shelf. Here we have our leftovers or prepared food. So these are things that we've already pre-cooked that are in little bins. We've got glass bins back there, some collapsible little silicone ones. This is potatoes that I made. It says taters precious. If you know, you know. And then we are going to be doing some food prep tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sunday, and we'll stack up our like already prepped little containers right there. This next shelf is for the kiddos, and this was advice that I got from you guys, getting bins here for kids to be able to access, so that's why it's on this shelf. The boys can reach this and get themselves a yogurt. I've got a little bin for cheese sticks in here, which we need to buy more of those. I have like a little cheese and meats like sandwich making bin. I have deli slices, shredded cheese, some vegan cheese in there, and it's all conveniently in this, which when I get like deli meat or whatever, it'll be nice just to grab this out, set it on the counter, and be able to like assemble sandwiches and stuff like that. I cannot believe I've never done this before, because already we've literally had one meal while this has been reorganized. It already made a huge difference. And like I was showing you, I have these produce bins. I have my broccoli in there. There's some leafy greens in there, celery and carrots there, cherry tomatoes in there, which I know tomatoes typically are better stored on the counter, but I like my tomatoes to be cold. So that's a personal preference. And then I have citrus fruits in this little one right here. Actually in the fruit and veggie drawer, we're gonna keep our bag with our Power Greens bag, and then like little containers of produce. We have mushrooms and little sprouts. That's what goes in the produce drawer. I think I'm gonna have to order a new produce drawer. These crisper drawers have like a double layer of the plastic, and if the top gets cracked and then like juices seep through, it gets caught between those two layers, dries and stains, and there's literally no way to clean it. If you have a hack for cleaning this, please let me know in the comments. But like the outside surfaces are all scrubbed up. It seems impossible to get in there for now. So we'll see if we can figure that out, but if I have to order a new drawer, we might just have to do that. And then as you guys saw, Weston was cleaning this out. I was losing a little bit of steam, and so he very willingly took care of this for me because he's the meat guy. He does a lot of barbecuing for us and preparing the meats for us for the dinner, and I'm kind of like the side dish gal. He arranged this how he likes it. There's a little bin here for like the smaller meat goods, like little rolls of sausage and stuff like that. He repaired this little thing on there that had broken off or fallen off, and now it's functioning beautifully. And then we have the little compartments here in the door. We have butter and butter products up there, and condiments here. This is one of the At Home with Nikki hacks that I am so far loving. I ordered these little squeezable BPA-free containers to replace the containers that our condiments come in from the store, and they are so much more streamlined and easy to store this way. Hot sauce is arranged over here, a little bit of jam for the kids, and there's room for this stuff to wiggle. Before, we were like piling stuff on top of it. Things were going horizontally when they should be going vertically. It was such a mess. This is gonna be so much better. And then we have the egg compartment. So this isn't necessarily a new thing to us. We have had an acrylic egg organizer for a while. We had an egg break and we didn't know it, and then it got all gross inside of it, so we threw it in the dishwasher, and that completely warped the one that we had before. So we bought a couple of new ones, and I really like these. I like it better than the other one because the lid just came off. But this one actually has a hinge on it, like a paper egg carton that you would get from the store. And I keep one of these in the outside fridge along with like the big 5 dozen egg carton that we get from Costco like every 2 weeks or so. This family goes through a lot of eggs. And for my version of the metabolic reset gut health diet, they have me just eating egg whites, and we weren't eating enough of the yolks that I was separating out to justify the lower price of like buying eggs and going through the effort of separating them out. So the egg whites are a better option for me. Again, this is just like a temporary thing with this diet, but this is just kind of like where we will keep the eggs now. And then I have like baking or cooking supplies. I have my sourdough starter back there, some bouillon, bone broth. I've got fish sauce and Worcestershire and soy sauce, tahini. This is just kind of where I keep my cooking stuff. And then down here in this bin, I have one lonely little bag of chia seeds. I'll also have a bag of flax seeds as well, and that sort of thing down in this small little bin here at the bottom. And that is what is in this fridge. Let's take a look at the freezer really quick. I basically have a bread shelf, waffles, any of my Ezekiel bread that needs to be frozen, extra loaves or whatever that we're making through the week. I did keep my one little bag of breast milk because I'm actually going to be ordering some breast milk jewelry as like a memento piece. And that's all that I have left after donating so much of it. So I'm gonna hold on to that one little bag up there for that. I made this shelf like our ready-made frozen food. So we have pot stickers, chicken strips, hot wings, fully cooked meatballs. We have some like bagel bites, that sort of thing, just kind of like the junk food. And then here we have frozen fruit. I have a couple of bins for that. These are the bananas that we freeze every week, which we've been going through a lot because we have a smoothie a day on this eating plan. And then this is my vegetable shelf, which is pretty self-explanatory. I have one of those like soda can dispensers that I thought was convenient to have like the open front to kind of dispense different little bags of vegetables. As I'm looking at this, I think a better way to do the arrangement of the shelves is to actually do fruit, vegetables, and then that pre-made junk food down here, because these two things are what I access the most, and it's nice to have it at eye level. This is kind of like the every once in a while food, so I'll probably improve that. So here are the frozen meat drawers, which we usually do a lot of fresh meat, but we have like frozen poultry. I've got some ground turkey underneath there. And then this is the frozen fish drawer. Got shrimp, some salmon in there, some mahi-mahi. We pretty much don't do any frozen beef products, so there wasn't a need to make a compartment for that. But then we have just these 3 little compartments here in the freezer door. This one is our boo-boo compartment. So we just have like personal icing stuff that we need if we're icing an injury or a boo-boo. And then I have this compartment for my frozen stuff that isn't typically frozen. So this stuff doesn't come frozen. When you buy ginger, it doesn't come frozen. When you buy walnuts, they don't come frozen. I think I have some garlic, yeah, right there. And this is like our like little pizza drawer. So I have pepperoni, some shredded cheese, some olives again, and that is what I have in here. We ended up throwing a good amount away from our freezer because stuff just was in here for too long. Again, we eat a lot of fresh food mainly, and so when we buy too much freezer goods, they end up going freezer burn and going bad. So we need to change the way we think about buying our frozen groceries. This has really opened my eyes to that. So that's a positive, learning more and more, and that is what was in the freezer. Well, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed coming along with me while I extreme decluttered and reorganized and revamped the way I have my fridge and freezer here in the kitchen. Again, if you want to see a little like tap to clean, tap to declutter Instagram story, I will have that going up this week for the garage, fridge, and freezers out there. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed enjoyed it, and I'd love it so much if you did enjoy it and got any motivation from it, if you would send it to a friend. Share it with your friends over on Instagram. Be sure to tag me if you do that. That way I can reshare it and get some motivation from you guys if you're tackling a decluttering project. It doesn't have to be a fridge. It can be anything in your house. I get so much inspiration and motivation from you guys when I see what you share over on Instagram. So thanks in advance for that. But I am exhausted now. That was such a big job. For a high traffic area, it was such a priority, and I should have done this a long time ago. So let me know in the comments if you have a spot in your house that you should have decluttered a long time ago that really, really needs it. Well, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day wherever you are. Thanks for spending a little part of your day here with me on my channel. Be sure to check out the other episodes in my Messy to Minimal series. Thanks for watching today's video, and I'll catch you later.
You have to let it fall. Now look off to the side, disappointed with your head turned. Look down like sad. There you go.